Hello there, it's Kate in the Nest, and I want to say welcome, welcome, welcome. As usual, I feel so blessed and lucky that I can spend this time with you, and more than excited to say that this is part two of the Green Door on tour trip to Sydney that we recently had. Now, if you've watched my first video, you could see that the first two shops that we went to were the Sewing Basket at Newington and Balmain, of course, both in Sydney. And a shout out to all of you who have told me that you wished that you had a sewing basket. I understand, and I just feel really lucky that we have access to that. But this afternoon's video, or in the afternoon as well, double afternoon time, we did go to two shops where it wasn't vintage, it wasn't secondhand, if you like, or used. They were actually shops where we could purchase new. So that's what I'm going to share with you today. I've got a little pile of goodies here. Symbolically, I had to make this video because I can't wait any longer to start using some of these pieces. And symbolically, here's a little tiny flower that I've already used out of one of the packages. And I'm thinking I want to share what I intend to do this with my new latest crochet bag that I have finished with my bits and pieces that I picked up at the sewing basket. And so if you stick around to the end, we might do a quick bit of making together. So let me talk to you about let's get the bag out of the way for a minute. Just so enjoying making these bags. And as I said, I know some of you were wondering how on ever I would use the sewing, all that material that I got from the sewing basket is already used up in these stitches, and I've still got meters and meters more, but it is so satisfying to know that when you get bargains and treasures and joy and put them into your work, they get another life. So that's my joy. Okay, so after lunch, which we had at Balmain, we went to Stanmore because we were running early. Could you believe it? The wonderful Zoe had carefully planned our day, and she said, we can squeeze in another shop. So not a single one of us said no to that. We just said, yes, please. So we went to a shop called the Selvedge Edge. I hope that's not too shiny or glittery, but I've kept it in its beautiful packaging because this is joy to me. It's a store in Stanmore in Sydney. That nearly rhymed as well. And I'm not a quilter, but I imagine it will be a quilter's paradise. They have lots and lots of kits and things that you can make, but I didn't buy much, but what I bought I absolutely love. So the first thing is this tiny little package of mixed materials, and as you know, my work is always, up until this point, featuring quite, vintage, secondhand, I can't think of the right word for it tonight suddenly, and rarely new. But since doing Beck's course of So Be Curated, I have admired the impact, I haven't got my pouch with me, that some pops of new prints can make. So this package really appealed to me. So that's the first treasure. After that, I also bought some bigger pieces, and I'm thinking, I've probably told you, I want to make some more nests and more vessels, basically, and pouches. So I was thinking that these are bigger pieces, and again, the mix just goes with everything that I use. Here's my nest that I've still down here because I'm working on my needle book, but you can see that everything I do, these pieces will just totally go with it. So that's what I got those for. Now I'm going to leave the nest here because I wanted to share this joy with you. So the vessel that I made, was this my second vessel number 2? I used a tablecloth that I'd found at a Vinnie's or Salvo's or something here, and I loved the effectiveness of these checks because they gave me so much. And I actually covered this whole vessel, a floppy doily, with that as my beginning strip, and then I appliqued things to it. And as ever, I look at this and just feel just a sense of blessing that I have been able to discover doing this just as it is, thanks to the Green Door since I went there. So why am I telling you this? Because it leads to this piece of fabric. I've run out except for tiny little squares of this. So it was joy that I found this piece of fabric. Now, as I said, I don't know brands or anything, but I'm thinking what stayed in my mind might have been Ruby Star. And could this be Ruby Star as well? I'm not sure, and I don't want to get it wrong, but I know that this store, so the Selvedge Society, is online. So I want to encourage you to check out what they have. But the beauty of this fabric is that for me, well, number one, it's stitched along both selvages. So it's neat on that side, but it is also, if I folded this over, the perfect size, I think, for the size of a vessel. And it's beautiful. You can see the grain, the colors are just, they were joy for me. So I grabbed, I think I bought, I can't tell you, and I'm not very good at measuring, but I bought that much. And so you will see that featured in a lot of my pieces. And as I said, particularly, I will be excited to make a new vessel with that. So just again, and the other thing is, if I wanted to do some crocheted strips with this, it's perfect because the color on both sides makes up beautifully in the crochet fabric bags. So I'll just thank you to everyone who's helped me with ideas for storing my fabric. And I am, as I said, delighted to be able to share that I have already used some of that fabric that was a buy at the sewing basket, and I didn't know what I'd do with it, and that it has come out already well. Okay, so after that store, we went to our original destination after lunch, and that was to, can you see that? It's flashing a little bit. It says Skein Sisters. So this is a store that we hadn't gone to as a group before, and so first time for many, and it is a wool shop in Dulwich Hill. We got there not long before it closed, and it was absolutely buzzing, which is a sign for me of a thriving business. So Skein Sisters, Dulwich Hill, have a look. They're online. I've shown some photos of the store, not a lot, on my Instagram post reel today, just for you to get the atmosphere. So I only bought 3 things, and it was this skein of, look at the name of this, Scorcher. Because I I like sewing with this. So a lot of you have always asked what I sew, what I stitch with, and this would be my preferred. So this is Australian wool, washable, and it's merino and silk. So how incredible is that? Wool and silk together and 4-ply. Absolutely beautiful. So that is the skein that I left looking good, because this is the other skein I bought and couldn't stay patient enough. It actually isn't a mess. I just have taken it off the chair, which I need to roll into a ball. But this is what I used to make this little flower. And I thought I wanted to show you this because, and I showed it in a close-up earlier, but there is a sense of shine to it in the variegation. So this bit goes a bit more orangey. There's a bit of purple here. Beautiful colours that will go with my works, whatever I'm doing. I don't usually like crocheting with 4-ply, but I think that is absolutely exquisite and may well go on something like, without destroying the whole bundle, you know, needlebooks, horsewifts, all those sorts of things. Just that 3-dimensional layer. I love. That's not stitched down yet, but you know what I mean. Even as the center of another flower. So love, love, love that. That will keep me going for years and years. So they're the 2 skeins from the Skein Sisters. I'll put that fabric over there so you can see these joyful colors. Oh, I didn't get that. Oh, that's out for my needlebook. Look at that beautiful treasure. And the third thing I bought, mainly because I saw this in Zoe's basket, and I just said, where did you find that? She said, oh, there's none left in this color. And I went, oh, where was it? And we went over together, and there, hiding in the back, was one more of this in this color. Now, what is it? It's called Rose Hipster. It's hand-dyed yarn, and I would say, would it be double to this? Yeah, it would be. It would be 8-ply. So I will enjoy crocheting that very much. I have to confess that I did cut it because I thought I will show you how to make a flower in this, but it went astray. So I have to be patient with that. So Skein Sisters, three skeins of wool. This wool I know is not inexpensive, but the sheen, the variegation, and my imagination are just love. And look how much there is. I think some of them are made for socks, but I'll do lots and lots of little things with those. So that is the bit of shopping. The thing I didn't show you, one of the pieces that, this is going to be bright, isn't it? I imagine. Yeah. Someone asked me about gingham. I'm really in a gingham phase at the moment. And on the way home from the Green Door Studio yesterday, I popped up to the cheese factory, and they happened to have this. I don't think you'll see that, but it took me back to my past at school, stitching gingham with cross stitch. So I grabbed that because, again, in my new vessel, I think I'll feature this with the rickrack with these crosses and put flowers and things onto them. Look at that flower. Got to learn how to do that. Lost my crochet flower. Here we go. So joy, joy, joy. Okay. Oh, there's one other thing. I got it at Selvedge. My journaling subbies know how much Kate loves the crunkle of a paper bag, and bringing home the paper bags is wonderful, because I will keep this bag and I will use it in my journals. So in here, and again, it's new for me to buy braid, because remember from the sewing basket, I got all of this beautiful stuff. But I saw this and I love the pink. I just thought that just goes with my work. Of course, the black background is unusual, but as a pop on things, that will be wonderful. So that's that. I bought a meter of that. And then, see, I'm just remembering and finding all of these things. Now, I've heard a lot of people talking about the Strawberry Thief. I have to confess, I've never bought anything from them before, and I haven't been on their website. But again, I must be in a ginghamy, checky, yeah, I must be stripy sort of phase this week. Who knows what next week will bring. So I grabbed this. Just it was in the bargain box at the front of the store. So I'm just thinking all the things around me. Look at that. This was thinner. This is a piece of Beck's quilt. Some bias, some flowers, not that braid. But, you know, this is what I do. Gather it all in the nest and see what comes out. So that's Green Door on tour in Sydney, led by the amazing Zoe. And I'm segueing right now because anytime with Zoe, I've said it on the on my Instagram reel today, Zoe is changing the world. She's gathering together like minds from all over the world, and not only in person, but also, she's, we all talk to each other on our Instagram and YouTubes. So a shout out to the gorgeous Zoe, who sometimes just comes over and gives us surprises and treasures. So as I was packing up yesterday, she said, Kate, she was about to do some weaving, and she said, Kate, would this be of any use to you? And I looked at variegated, I looked at this. Previously, I would never have thought about using that. But in the context of my, it's so big, isn't it? My bags, I'm now thinking that I could extend what I do a little bit further. So I'm going to take this idea that I need to tuck that little thing down. I was originally thinking that at some point I might start, can you see the glow of that pink? And I don't want to go, oh, what was that? Oh, sorry everyone, my light just turned off on my new device. I will stretch over here. And just hope for the best. So I'm not going to go flower mad, but with Zoe in mind, and Missy, shout out to Missy, because she and I are similarly hooked on these bags, as I know a lot of others are. So that's the wonderful Missy made this on YouTube, and I know she's about to finish her bag. So I maybe got lost then with absolute enthusiasm. So I'm thinking, now if you don't want to see this, I will not be offended, but I'm just wondering if we could together make up a flower for Zoe on my bag that I finished at the Green Door, and maybe attach it. Let's see how far we go. All right. I've been doing quite a bit of experimenting with flower shapes, and I know Missy is as well. She's got a beautiful new book. So this one is different to what I've shown you before, and it's probably more like, anyway, it's not hard. So let's make a magic square. why I call it magic square, a magic circle first. So yarn around in an X shape. I'm sorry if you know how to do this already, just in case. I'm just trying to be an encourager. We've got our, and I'm using the big, very big needle. I don't know how, I haven't done this, so we'll see. The big needle that I made the bag on, which is a 6.5, okay? So there we are. We've got the end from the circle out here, and we're just going to do a chain to just get us started. So I want to do this, which is a 5-petal flower, and hopefully we'll get some variegation. So we're going to do a double crochet. Remember, I'm Australian, so this is the stitch that you go in, around the hook, back, you've got 2, and then just through those 2. And to get, because this is going to be a giant flower, to get maximum impact of our petals, we're going to do what I call a double treble. And I know that will mess up a lot of you in the Northern Hemisphere, but let's just talk about the loops. For me, it's 2 round the hoop, 2 round the hook, in and back. And we're just going to go through 2 loops at a time. And it makes a really high stitch. So it makes the beginning of our petal. So we're going to do 4 of those. I'm going to speed up just so that you can start to see the impact. Oh, and here comes the variegation. And this stretchy cotton is just so good. I don't know where Zoe got this, but when I went to look at t-shirt yarn, I did find some at Lincraft, but it was all just plain colour. And they called it spaghetti for some reason. Who wants to crochet or knit with spaghetti? Maybe some. So I probably haven't even asked you how you are. This has been Kate, full of absolute excitement. All right, so this is actually good because you can see what I'm doing. Double crochet, 1, 2, 3, 4, double trebles, and then a double crochet. And that is going to be my first petal. And we're going to do 5 of these, and then I'm going to squish them up and you'll see what the flower looks like. Now, if you were here, we could just have a chat because I need to do quite a few of these petals. So I hope you're making something, relaxing, cup of tea time. We've had a beautiful day here today, so much so that I could even hang the washing on the line and get it dry, which is always a significant sign. Yeah, I shouldn't speak too soon because it often rains. Now, can you see my fingers as I'm doing this? Yeah. Now, if you didn't want to do a magic circle, you could do a usual hole in the center. Now, how many I've done? 1, 2, 3. 4. I'm looking forward to the Roxy Sisters videos tomorrow because it's a new prompt. I think we're on to summer. So imagine that. Do the flowers change in summer? Okay, there's my 2 really giant petals. Stay with me if you can. Okay, so 4, because if this is crazy, you'll know not to do it like this. And if it works, we can just have a look what it looks proportion like on my bag. So 1, 2, 4. Okay, we've got three giant petals. Biggest flower I've ever crocheted. So 4th petal. So just a reminder, if you want this really big stitch, twice round the hook, and then as always just in 2s to get you the height. As I do this, I'm starting to think, what will I work on tonight? I might need to do a bit more finishing of my spring in my accordion journal. My quilt is almost all seasons, and I had a good day working on that yesterday, so I'll leave that. I've got my needle book. I finished my crochet bag, and it would be naughty of me to start another one straight away, but I would like to make a really big shopping one now, like the biggest the biggest one I've made so far, so more than 25 chain. And what else am I dreaming of making? I'd like to make a stretchy pouch with the jersey that's black and patterned, and I did pick up some plain stretch jersey at Sewing Basket. So look, these are all the things going through my mind, and I probably haven't even shown you the pouch that I've made to put my crochet hooks in. I think I only have one more big stitch to go, and then we can do some pulling tight and see what happens. Okay, let's count our petals. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, did I do the next one? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, I was thinking something's wrong. It isn't. I've got 4. Now, let's pull the magic circle. I'll take my needle out. I think this might be too big. Oh, no, here it comes, coming in. So see what's happening? It's all squashing in the middle. More. Okay, it's strength on display. I might actually just finish this petal off. So slip stitch to the first chain down here and finish off. I'm thinking it's too big, everyone, but that's why we try these things out. So proportionally, you can see, now I will show you, oh, have I got a needle? What I need to do is thread that through a big needle, and I haven't, and finish that off down the back. I wonder if I could do it with a little, a little hook. So we take this one down and pull it through, and that makes it look like a petal. That's not bad. Well, that's looking better. But see, a magic circle is meant to have no hole in the middle. Oh, that's better. I think it's just that, oh gosh, the abs, oh, getting better. Come on, Kate, a little bit more. It's not bad. Okay, and then I would also pull this tight. Under here. So a lot of people thread up, but if you use a smaller crochet hook relatively, it does fit quite easily under the stitches. This is to finish it off. Okay, so that's the magic circle one. Oh, that's cuter. And then this one. And then let's knot them together as tight as we can. Right over left, and left over right. Left over right, Kate. I'm just going to leave the string on for the moment. What do you think? Can't quite see it, but every day we learn something new. So there we go. My first ever stretch flower, 1 double crochet, 4 double trebles, 1 double crochet all the way around, and there's a variegated flower that you could use anywhere. So I hope, look, we began somewhere at the Green Door on tour, and we've ended up with a beautiful big flower in honor of Zoe, our host of the Green Door, and just the most amazing friend and lady. So thank you so much for being with me, and I'll see you next time. This is Kate in the Nest saying bye for